All right, yeah. So we are back live. London Diamond League just went down, just capped off, literally just finished up. The 800 literally just finished up on the women's side. So it's an interesting, very interesting meet, very interesting meet across the board. So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about some of these results, some of these performances. The men's hundred, is like it's getting kind of crazy. I mean, it's already been crazy, but the dynamics of the men's hundred is dope. Of course, the women's 200, Julian versus Gabby. I thought it lived up to expectations once again. And well, yeah, we don't talk about it because I know Julian with her 21.6, Gabby with her 21.8. This was good. This was good. 400 meter Paulino is like unstoppable. The men's 400 was really good. We saw 400 hurdles. So yeah, it was overall we got some good performances across the board so far. So London was good. London was good. So yeah, we'll dive in, but appreciate y'all for jumping in. Yeah, Ajayi is looking very serious, like very serious, and I'm excited to see how he progresses. Like, whew, like I'm excited to see how he progresses because like he's gonna be going to Commonwealth Games, like it's gonna be crazy. But yeah, we gonna see. We gonna see. Yep, what's good? What's good? What's good? Yup. Yes, very proud. Listen, Ajayi is doing us well. Shout out to Ajayi. He's doing us very well. Um, why is Ajayi staring down Oblique? I mean, he wanted to have fun, right? Like he saw that he got the win and he was like, all right, yo, I got some space. Let me pull up. You know what I mean, let me turn to the side. You know, that's like the track world. He probably would have been in like a high school race, he probably would have been DQ'd, right? But you know, he's doing his thing. I think it's fun. And it's all in love too. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Jaeger in the 400 for Euros. The favorite, looking like it, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Um, oh yeah, the 4x1s. I didn't even get. I mean, they didn't show it on the broadcast, obviously, but like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yes, we'll talk about that too, because like, man, the world record talk is crazy. I kind of noted it a little bit with the quick video I did about Gabby in the what do you call it? Like on her press conference thing where it's like everyone's asking about world records, but like then when you don't get a world record, it like deflates the air out of the situation. It's just like in this women's 800 that just capped things off. Like the world record talk was there and then we get a 156. It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I mean, in that same vein, it's like, yeah, shout out to Josh Kerr. Like Josh Kerr cooked. He's taking down Hisham El Garouj in his world record by what, over half a second? Like, come on, crazy. We'll talk about Jordan Anthony. We'll definitely talk about Jordan Anthony. We'll see what's up. Well, we'll talk about it. We can talk a little bit about Josh Kerr's mile. We can dive in a little bit, but we'll of course highlight the sprints and stuff like that first. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Oblique has stared others down as well. Yeah, like I think it doesn't matter too much. Like everyone is gonna stare each other down. They're gonna have fun, right? We saw Oblique do it to Noah in 2024. We see Noah do it to everybody. We see Ajayi do. It's like Jordan. It's like, everyone is having fun. I actually like it because, well, I'll talk about it when we dive into the 100. But things are competitive. I wonder if, yeah, I guess we could just talk about the 100 first. So I was going to start with the 200, but we'll start with the men's 100 first, and then we'll dive into the rest of the events. But appreciate y'all for jumping in. We'll get started in a second. Actually, what we'll do, I'm going to roll through some other events first, and then we'll dive into the hundreds and the 200s and the sprints and stuff like that. I'll actually real quick, just for context, because I'll just like kick things off because we're just like jumping in and people are rolling through. I'll just highlight real quick. So just real quick, shout out to the women's long jump as Malaki Mihambo getting back into her realm of like some general, not consistency per se, but like some far jumps. Malaki Mihambo in the women's long jump, she jumped 705 meters. And that was actually on her last, well, her fifth attempt, sorry. But she had all fouls throughout the competition. So this was kind of a mixed competition for her, but she beat out Claire Bryant, who jumped 694 on her final jump, which I thought to be pretty impressive across the board. So shout out to Malaki Mihambo, Claire Bryant, Larissa Apicino. This is a very competitive women's long jump field across the board. USA's next week, we're going to see Tara Davis Woodhall. We're going to see Claire Bryant. We're going to see oh my gosh, Monet Nichols. So we'll see a couple different athletes in the women's long jump. In that vein, I know a couple people shouting out. I want to give him some love because he cooked in this. The men's 800. Shout out to Brandon Miller, really throwing things down and like, you know, taking the shots here. You know what I'm saying? Like in the men's 800, you saw Brandon Miller. He was able to get a big run here. You're talking about personal best of 142.19 seconds. I think he moves to number 5 all time in American history for the 800, right? Because you have Bryce Hoppel, Josh Hoey, Cooper Lukenhaus, and then you have what's his name, Donovan Brazier, just behind it or just ahead at 142.16. So Brandon Miller, you know, he gets here. This was beautiful, and this was also very reminiscent of what Brandon Miller did. Yeah, 5th fastest for USA. Okay, so yeah, this was very reminiscent to like what he did at Prefontaine, where he had a very good finish. He was like tracking Cooper Lukenhaus, and then when you got to about 120, 150-ish, he's just like, all right, nah, let me turn things on and then run past. Very similar here, where he was like tracking the field and he held on and he was able to just like run right past, run Mark English down, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like this was very, very good. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Brandon Miller, he has kind of leveled up since he left Bobby Kersey. And I mean, even Grant, well, yeah, since he left Bobby Kersey, now moved to the Brooks Beast. Obviously, he trains with Josh Kerr. He trains with that whole group. So it's like Brandon Miller, this is big. Like, I don't know. I'm happy for Brandon Miller. He's been cooking. He's been cooking. So shout out to Brandon Miller. Excited to continue to watch his progression. I thought he was gonna run 141 here, but regardless, like obviously he's in form. So we're gonna see how he kind of does continue to play out. But yeah, shout out to Brandon Miller. And yes, he is only he's only 24 years old. Right? He's in theory just getting started. You're talking about Josh Kerr just broke the world record in the mile, right? And he's what, 20? He's 28. I think he turns 29 this year because he's Josh Kerr was born in 1997. So big. And Brandon Miller, he takes down Emmanuel Wignoni, he takes down Mark English, Max Bergen. Emmanuel Wignoni, like he just went backwards, right? He just started to go backwards, which was kind of rough to watch, but taking down a field like this, man, shout out. So we're gonna see. Okay, so a couple others to just highlight very quickly here. The men's 400-meter hurdle. Well, actually, let me do this. Let me just do the women's 800 because again, this is kind of getting to the to that world record talk, world record, but then, you know, a little, you know, anticlimactic in a sense of it being, you know, not even close to a world record. So we get Keely Hodgkinson, 156.21, Femke Borders Bowl, 156.46. And then Daguma, she ran a very, very strong last 100 meters to get 156.92. But obviously, this was like world record talk. I think that was a little bit over their skis in terms of like thinking about the world record, considering the context of what kind of unplayed over the past couple of weeks with Keely getting injured or having some precautions and pulling out of the UK champs in the 400 in the final there, then going to Prefontaine. At some point before then, she had like fell and scratched up her knees. She lost the race to Lillian Odira, and then now she comes here and it's like I don't know. I guess just the hype of the conversation around it was weird, but you know, we gonna see. Oh yes, so this is a good point, right? It seems weird seemed odd. Shafiqua Maloney was a pacemaker. She's one of the best in the world. Yeah, like I don't know how often that occurs. You would usually see someone who's like a 400-meter runner or someone who's like not one of the best 800. It's just weird, right? It's weird to have literally one of the best, because Shafiqua probably would have run like 150. She probably could have run 157, 156 in this race or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, her season's best is 157. So she probably would have run 157, 158 in this race. So I don't know. It's weird. It's like really weird. Yeah, she just ran 157 this year, Shafiqua. So It's weird, right? Yeah. 157 3-4 this year. It's so I don't know. And then obviously they were off the pace. I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. And I think also just going into this race, I'm not sure world record talk was like necessarily warranted. I know, yeah. So the world record talk should really only apply to Audrey Vero this season. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows? But we'll see them go to European champs. So we'll see Keely, we'll see Femke, we'll see Audrey, we'll see the women from France. So a lot of women will be going to European champs, but this overall was just a strange race. Even there was a point where Femke Borders Bull, it was like maybe she was like going to reach Keely. Maybe I didn't think so. I know the commentators were kind of I was watching the World Athletics feed, but I know the commentators were kind of saying that she was creeping up on her, but like, yeah, not really. Even though this wasn't like a massive win for Keely, but it was just a weird race overall. But I'm excited to see how European championships will go. So shout out to the women's 800. On with that as well, two others, and then I'm gonna jump over to the sprints with the men's 100, women's 200, and women's 400 and men's 400. What did I see? Men's 400 meter hurdles. This was also another good race. Yeah, Femke never crept up on Keely, but it is what it is. This was actually overall a pretty good race, right? So shout out to Karsten Warholm in the men's 400 hurdles, 46.61 seconds. Now he has, I think on paper, it's looked like Karsten Warholm hasn't had a great year. Now, relative to previous years, it probably hasn't been that great per se. But in general, Karsten has actually been doing pretty decent. Like, I don't perceive him as having had a drop off. Yes, I know he got, I think, 5th place at the World Champs last year after kind of like I don't know what happened in that final, but this year he had run 46.8 already up in China, and he ran 33 seconds in the 300 meter hurdles. But he's just been losing to Alison Dos Santos, who was not in this race. So Karsten Warholm, he ran 46.8, I think, in China, and he finished 2nd place to Alison Dos Santos. Then I think at the Oslo Diamond League, Alison Dos Santos ran like 46.8 or something like that. A little bit slower than he had when he beat out Warholm. I think Alison Dos Santos ran 46.6, and Karsten Warholm ran like 46.8. Then in Oslo, Alison Dos Santos ran 46.8, whereas Karsten Warholm, he ran 47.4. So that maybe was a drop-off. But I think that Karsten Warholm here, he's been showing consistency. So he took I don't even know the last time he actually competed, but he's back now and he ran 46.6. To me, that shows that he is remaining very consistent, very much in the overall medal conversation. Like, you're literally only talking about 2 other athletes who are able to run faster than him. Alison Dos Santos and Rai Benjamin. Rai Benjamin is in the 400 meters right now, which we'll talk about in a second. And Alison Dos Santos is obviously still in the mix. So, I think there was conversation in general around like, oh, is Karsten Warholm falling off? I don't think he's falling off in any capacity. I think he is still just right where he is. And even for more context, Karsten Warholm, he is a decade into the 400 hurdles, right? He won the gold medal at the 2017 World Championships, actually in London, in the same stadium. And back then, he was not running 46 seconds. Like, I don't think he ran 46 seconds until 2019. That was the first time he ever did it. And at that point, he was already a world champion. He was a European champion. Like, he had a bunch of different accolades. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was, shout out to Karsten Warholm. Shout out to Emil for the 2nd place national record, 47.45. So we gonna see. Oh, shout out to you, man. Yeah, you're just walking out the stadium. I'm gonna need to be in some vocal rest after that 100 meters, 200 meters, and mile. Especially after that mile, the stadium looked crazy in the mile. Like, it looked crazy. So, shout out to you. I'm so glad that you got to be there. One day I'm gonna make it out to London. But yeah, this was overall a good race. Good race for the most part. Shout out to Abraham Samba. He's one of my favorites. He kind of started off this wave of 400 meters dominance to a degree. He was the first guy to run sub 47 seconds since, of course, Kevin Young did it back in 1992. But yeah, overall, decent race. I think Warholm was the story here. And in my opinion, Warholm was still maintaining his strong consistency. And he's looking like he's the athlete. He's still looking to be one of them at the top. But I do think Alison Dos Santos is still the ultimate favorite this year, leading into World Ultimate Champs and for the rest of the season. So that's the 400 meter hurdles. After that, we do have the men's 400, which was towards the end of the meet. And for those just jumping in, we're going to be talking about just going over the London Diamond League. We're going to be talking about the men's 100 and the women's 200 in just a second. But men's 400 meters, this was a very, very good race. A very, very good race. Rai Benjamin, and I completely agree. Rai performed well. Oh, and yes, just for context, you said that in your previous videos that don't sleep on Warholm even when he's not winning. Yes, that I 100% agree. And that's why I think it may be perceived like he wasn't doing well, but really he's just been losing to Alisson dos Santos, who was already at Warholm's level to a degree, right? He's a world championship gold medalist. He's run 46.2. He's, all that stuff. So yeah, shout out to you. You know what I mean? I'll be saying these things. Okay, so Rai performed well here in the men's 400. I agree, but I think this was a very competitive race, and it does lend itself to why I think Rai Benjamin's performance really does stand out. So nothing crazy in terms of times, but I actually like a competitive race like this. We saw Sha'Carri Patterson. He was on the inside lane. We saw Rai Benjamin and Matthew Hudson-Smith. They were in the middle. Sha'Carri was in lane 4, inside lane. I don't know. Dream Richards was on the inside. But then you had Vernon Norwood on the outside, maybe like with 150 to go. Vernon on the outside was looking good, but it was really in those middle lanes. Rai Benjamin, Matthew Hudson-Smith, Sha'Carri Patterson. Rai Benjamin was leading off the curve, right? He was leading off the curve, but then Sha'Carri Patterson starts to like push ahead a little bit, and he starts to like maybe for a split second get the lead. And then you see Matthew Hudson-Smith right in the middle of both of them, and he is like pushing through. And so this was a perfect example of why I like a competitive race. Yes, I understand the times were not fast, but it's like athletes really, you can see them pushing for the win, pushing, to be able to get out on top. And Rai Benjamin held strong. Matthew Hudson-Smith, he gave like a little bit of a push in the last 50-ish meters, but then Rai Benjamin, he held on and he was able to get the win. Personal best 44.05. This is what his his fourth 400 meter race this year. Because he ran in Tokyo Golden Grand Prix, he ran Prefontaine Classic, he ran Monaco Diamond League, and now he ran in London. So making some steady progress. We'll see how he does do when he gets to the World Ultimate Championships. I think he needs one more 400 meter race to be in the actual rankings because you need 5 races overall. So yeah, shout out to Rai Benjamin. I'm also very, very proud of Matthew Hudson-Smith. This is another aspect of you can never count an athlete out, even though he's one of the more experienced. I mean, he's been here literally a full decade, right? 2015, I think, was his first breakout into the professional global senior scene. But then 2016, he made the Olympic final. And he is still here competing with the best guys in the world. You know what I'm saying? And running 44.18. He's already run 44.09 this year. But shout out to Matthew Hudson-Smith. Really, I'm excited for him going into, I don't know if he's going to Commonwealth Games or if he's skipping that and going to Europeans. But whatever he's doing for the next couple months, he's going to be someone to look out for. And then Sha'Carri Patterson, always in the mix. Shout out to him. And Dream Richards still getting his footing as the season progresses. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm dripped in all my Jamaican drip and have my flags on show. And from my angle, it looked like a lot. We'll talk about the 100 in a second. Rai talking about world record, but still hasn't broke 44. Yeah, I don't know. World record talk for now. I also haven't watched any post race interviews, but yeah, I don't know. World record talk for now is not in the conversation. Even when it comes to, well, I don't know, with Busang. Let's see. Colleen has no competition, and it's a worry state in the men's 400. I know you were saying that the 400 is not doing well. I don't know about worry state. I think the competition is great. Who knows what Samuel Ghazi might do at Commonwealth Games, right? And that's why I say, move out the context of the times and think about the competition as it stands. Yes, Busang is no one should be betting against him as it stands now. But, we'll see what actually does play out. So shout out to the men's 400. Oh, okay. World record talk seemed like he was joking. Okay. So again, I haven't seen the interview, but yeah, I think this overall for me sums it up. The competition is great. I know that the fast times also we want fast times, they go in hand to a degree, but when we get high quality competition, I don't know. I liked this race. This wasn't, some of the others and all that, but I don't know. I liked this race overall because a lot of these guys are here. Yeah, and this is true. This is literally probably the best 400 meter season in terms of times by July ever. That could be very true. That's something we can kind of circle back to. But yeah, okay, I would have been really disappointed if Rai lost this race. Hey, Okay, so let's dive in. Oh, actually, next one. Let's again. Obviously, I'm saving the heavier races for last. But let's talk about the women's 400. As this was such an interesting race. This was such an interesting race for the women. So Marley DiPaolino gets the win in 48.97 seconds. Another win, another time under the 49-second barrier. I think this is her 11th time under the 49-second barrier, which is, I think, the second most ever, which is pretty good. But how this race played out is Nikisha Price went out like an absolute rocket on the outside. I think I saw it. Shout out to Nat. He might have had the splits on Twitter, but it was like she went out faster than her first 200, her first 100 and 200 were faster than her personal best, her 48.5, what was it, 48.57, which she ran at this meet in 2024. But bro, after that, she just went backwards. Like she just went backwards. She came out the curve in front, but then she just started to go backwards and ended up fourth place with 50.09. So this was a rough race for Nikisha Price. And I don't know. But Marley DiPaolino is easily one of the most consistent 400-meter sprinters in history already, in terms of like times and just consistency in terms of medals and all that stuff. Like Marley DiPaolino is insanely consistent. And a race like this shows that she can win in almost any situation, right? You had Nikisha Price go out like an absolute rocket. You had Stacey Ann Williams. She was in lane 5, so on the inside of Paulino, and you had Henriette Jaeger on the inside as well in lane 4. Both of them had gone out very strong as well. Specifically, Stacey Ann Williams. She was right up on Paulino for most of the first 200. Obviously, Paulino doesn't run like super fast first 200s, but like Stacey Ann Williams, who also ran 49.52, which is what her second or third best time ever, because she's ran 49.48 this year, personal best. But she was right up on Paulino. Henriette Jaeger was running the race of her life, right? 49.15 seconds. Massive performance. But Paulino just knows how to perform. When you get into the last 120, the last 100, like you're not going to touch Paulino. Obviously, anything can happen, but Paulino is operating on a different level right now. This in theory, this 48.97 is almost, quote unquote, a disappointment, right? Because she's run 48.6 this year. She's run 48.4 this year, right? This was like the closest race that she's had all year, if I'm correct, right? 48.97 to 49.15, because she ran 48.6 to 48.8 with Aaliyah Butler in Monaco. So this is insane. Her dominance is crazy. And like I said, Marley DiPaolino, she's run under 49 seconds 11 times in her career. The only other woman in history to run more times under the 49-second barrier is Marita Koch, who has done it 15 times in her career, all the way back, obviously, in the 70s and the 80s. So Paulino is going to surpass that at some point, right? By the end of the season, she might surpass that. If you talk about maybe she runs, well, maybe not. She'll probably run like 2 more Diamond Leagues, maybe 3, I don't know. And then we'll get to Ultimate Champs. But Paulino is just operating on a different level. And like, and sorry, just to get to the question. So no, Paulino does not. So Paulino has the second most sub 49 second performances of any women. Paulino now has 11, and Marita Koch, obviously the world record holder, she has 15. She was obviously she was going crazy back in the 80s and 70s and stuff like that. But I think that Paulino is going to get there she might get there by the end of the season, depending on how she races. Because I can imagine her going to, I don't know what races are where the 400 is happening, but you have Lausanne, you have Silesia, you have Brussels, you have Zurich as the Diamond Leagues left. I don't know if there's there could be one other Diamond League left that I'm missing. Someone could cross-check me, but there's an opportunity. And then you have, let's just say she does it at 3 Diamond Leagues. Then you have the World Ultimate Champs. And then you also have AFLOS. So Paulino actually has a lot of chances. So we'll see. But yeah, she's a favorite. But I do think this, I do think this presents a few more discussions around the women's 400, specifically when we look at European championships. But what do you say? So yeah, Nikisha Price had me going crazy for like 250 meters, and then yeah, she went backwards, man. Oh my gosh. What's up, man? So Nikisha was leading by by half a second up to 350. She's trying race patterns, maybe, but like I don't know, man. It's a little mixed, but hopefully she can figure things out. Okay, so we'll talk about this in a second. Jaeger and Manuel. We'll talk about Europeans. Let me get to that in a second. Without Paulino, without Sydney, Paulino gets a free win. Yeah, this is interesting because Paulino, as I've been saying in previous meets, Paulino is racing almost like the quote unquote ghost of Sydney McLaughlin-Lavroni because she's not here. Again, shout out to Sydney, just gave birth to her first child. So I feel like she's racing the idea of like, yo, I was second to Sydney, and I know people are going to have the narrative that if Sydney's here, then I can't win. I think she wants to like dispel that narrative and show she is insanely dominant. So she's getting the wins here, but she's also running fast. It's not like she's winning. It's not like she's winning in 50 seconds. It's not like she's winning in 49 seconds. She is winning in 48 seconds every single time. And she is taking down every person possible. Like literally everyone possible. Aaliyah Butler runs 48.8. Paulino's like, okay, cool. Let me run 48.6. Right? Like that, it's different. It's different. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, like you said, I mean, yeah, the 400 is all Paulino's world as long as Sydney's not in it. But again, she wants to disprove this narrative of like, listen, she wants Sydney to come back and actually challenge her. So we'll see. Let's see. So Paulino is the most consistent of all time. But in her heart, she knows she's not the best. This is like, I mean, consistent of all time. I think Marita Koch is still the most consistent of all time. Obviously, you can have those discussions about all the stuff in the 80s. But I don't know. I think this is the thing though, where, and maybe this even plays into like with Josh Kerr with the mile world record, right? So he broke the world record in the mile, but so he's like the fastest of all time. But I don't know if people would say like he's the overall greatest of all time, right? Because you have like Hisham El Garouj in terms of like the medals won when you're talking about the 1500 meters and the mile and all that stuff. It's like, well, the mile didn't have medals, but you understand, like, I think there's differences as it relates to a world record performance or an all-time best performance versus like a full career performance, right? So I don't think anyone would say I don't think anyone could defend as it stands right now that Sydney has a better 400-meter career than Paulino. Now, Sydney is faster than Paulino, for sure. Like, you can't debate that. And probably 9 times out of 10, if you're in a race going forward, you're going to, or if you have them head to head, you're going to pick Sydney over Paulino. But you can't dispel the career that Paulino has been able to put together. I'll answer the Nasser, well, actually, don't know, but question in a second. But like, right, you can't dispel the career that Paulino has put together when it comes to the 400, where she's the Olympic gold medalist. She's the Olympic silver medalist, right? So gold in 2024, silver in 2021. She has the world championship gold in 2023, world silver in 2022 and in 2025. And she's the 3rd fastest of all time, having run 47 seconds. She now has the 2nd most, sub 49 second performances in her entire career, right? Like, that's what I kind of think of in the context of a full career. Just like Wade Van Niekerk has a world record in the 400 meters, but like, his career doesn't stand up to Michael Johnson, right? Like, those are kind of the things. But yeah, and like Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is by far the GOAT of the women's 100 meters, but she doesn't have the world record, right? Like, it's, what I'm saying? It's all interesting discussion. But and yeah, so 46, chill. So Paulino wants to show that if anyone, including Sydney, wants to beat her moving forward, you'll have to run 48 seconds. No, so, and just for context, Paulino does not have the most sub 49s. That's still held by Marita Koch, who has 15 sub 49 second performances. So yeah. Yeah, I want to see next year. Hopefully we see Sydney back and running. I want to see some more head-to-heads, but we'll see. Oh, you said Marita Koch don't count. Okay, I ain't mad at that, but nah, we still count. It is what it is. Yes, Paulino gonna go to Athlos. Let's see. Okay, so where is Sawi Nasser? I think she's just injured. She ran a few races earlier this year, like 100 and a 200, but then I think she got Yeah, I think she just got injured, and I don't know that she's been pulling out of races. So that's my suspicion. I don't have like actual insight. I've seen like things on Twitter, or not Twitter, on Instagram, where she was training at certain points, but like I think she just got injured and is just taking the year off. So we'll see. We'll see. Um, let's see. Let's see. Okay. Um, Okay, so I think Keely is going through something similar to Paulino. Ever since she won indoors and then lost to Vero outdoors, the pressure has multiplied on her. But I don't know though, because Paulino is running like very, very well. I don't think I look at Paulino and Keely in a similar vein. Like Paulino is running very well, right? Keely has had injuries and all these different things. I don't know if I compare Paulino and Keely. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, again, if you're jumping in, we're going to dive into the men's 100 and the women's 200 in a second. Okay, I can't lie. All these women's records that are still here from the 80s have kept the sport from progressing and giving the generation of athletes the true recognition they deserve. Yeah, maybe, but like also don't get too caught up with the records, right? Like I think that's why I like the competition. That's why I like the head-to-heads. That's why I like the idea of, okay, Sydney isn't here, but Paulino is running. And when Sydney returns, who knows if they'll get that world record? Like I don't even know. I honestly not even sure if I care. I used to like hype it up a lot, but I don't know if I care anymore. I just want to see the head-to-heads. That race last year from Sydney and Paulino was insane, right? Two women, obviously they had to run fast times to have it, but it was like two women going head to head on a rainy track. Like, that was exciting. That was exciting. So I don't know. All due respect, Evelyn Ashford, in my opinion, is the greatest American 100-meter sprinter. And she's probably top 3 all time, maybe top 2. I don't know. I just, she's not better than Shelley. Like, all due respect. In terms of career, she's not. And she's not. But shout out to Evelyn. Again, Evelyn is one of my goats. She is the greatest American 100-meter sprinter of all time, bar none. But yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, exactly. So Evelyn is a GOAT of her era. Not sure if I'd say all time though. Yeah, she's not better than Shelley. You know what I'm saying? Yes, congrats to Sydney and her baby girl, Savannah Michelle Lavroni. Yep. Brittany Brown is entered at USA's. I don't know if she's gonna run though, but I know she's been dealing with some setbacks. Okay, so oh yes, last thing I want to know. So European Championships. So Jaeger trying to show Manuel what's up for European champs. So this is a thing. European Championships is going to be very interesting. Before I move over to the couple other events, European champs is going to be very interesting. So just for context, when we're looking at the season this year, all the women in the 400 right now are going crazy. 4 euros. I'm going to do this real quick because this is probably one of the more exciting races. When we don't have Sydney versus Paulino, European champs is looking crazy. So right now we have Henriette Jaeger. So she just ran. Hold on, my bad. Let me do this. So Henriette Jaeger from Norway. So she just ran this 49.15 to finish second place in London. Personal best for her. Then you have Manuel, world indoor champion. She just ran 49.37. Well, this was at Paris, right? Second place to Paulino. Personal best for her as well. Lieke Klaver, her 49.5. This was in Monaco, I think, right? Yeah. So decent, but her consistency is maybe a little more questionable, right? I think I spoke about this on the last live stream where she's very inconsistent when it comes to championships. Yemi Mary John, she ran 49.85 earlier this year, but then in a race like this at home, she finishes down the pack in 7th. So even though 50.24 is actually relatively good for her, but I don't know, Yemi Mary John, a little questionable. Natalia Bukviatska, who's probably more consistent overall in terms of championships, she's building into form. 50.10 equals her season's best. So we'll see how she does go when we get to European champs. But, I think it's interesting. And then you have Amber Anning, who's in the mix. So this is and she wasn't in this race, but this is a very interesting European champs that's like really heating up for the women's 400. I'm excited to see how it actually does play out. But, we'll see. Oh yeah, Amber, she hasn't run this much this season, so unsure as well. But yeah. Okay, so and at the end, actually, someone remind me, but we'll talk about I'm going to do a preview of USA's next week, but we'll talk about Melissa and Sha'Carri. We'll talk about that in a second. Well, at the end, because I want to talk about the races here in London. But yeah, so as I mentioned, Jaeger and Manuel look like the top dogs for the 400-meter gold. Sub 49 to 49.5 could be required to make the podium at this rate. Maybe the final has sub 50 for all athletes. I think we're looking at a situation of the 2022 2024 European Championships, right? Where Natalia ran 48 seconds and then Rashida Adeleke, she ran 49.0. I think we're in that realm because Henriette Jaeger, I think you might have said it earlier or someone said it earlier, but like Henriette Jaeger took the time off and she bounces right back with 49.1 personal best. She is being very strategic. And right now, I think this is her. Maybe she has one more race before European champs. Maybe, but I actually doubt it because people are going to Commonwealth. So I don't know. But she's being very strategic and she understands that Manuel is coming. Manuel is young and hungry. Not now, she's only 2 years younger than Henriette Jaeger, but like she is on a roll as well, right? Like both of them have been putting together some serious depth at the top, like some serious depth. Manuel at 49.4 and 49.3, Jaeger 49.5 and 49.1, and then also 49.6. So like this is these two. This is these two. So we gonna see. We gonna see. I know this is like maybe niche, right? European champs, but European champs women's 400 is probably the race that y'all need to be aware of. Obviously, Ultimate Champs is coming, but like this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. So yeah, we'll talk about Melissa. Melissa Jefferson Wooden is running the 200 at USA's, but Sha'Carri is running the 100. So we're not going to get a matchup. We'll talk about that at the end. And yes, insane. I didn't expect 49.1 from her, bro. She went crazy. Okay. So I went through all the events except for the men's 100 and the women's 200 and the men's 110 hurdle. So you're jumping in at a good time. Shout out to you, man. The crowd at London is always sold out each year. 60K. Shaman will probably never host the World Champs again now that World Athletics moved all World Champs from middle of the summer to September. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if down the line it does host World Champs again. Weren't they vying for 2029? Wasn't London trying to? But I could be wrong. But it's one day, man. I'm gonna get out there. Okay, so let's move over. The last event before we talk about the men's 100 and the women's 200 is just the men's 110 hurdles. And if you're jumping in right now, I already spoke about a bunch of different events. Check the timestamps to see what's up. But Jacoby Tharp, 12.89 seconds. Jacoby Tharp is on a different level as well. I know that I keep saying that about a whole bunch of athletes, but Jacoby Tharp is very serious. 12.98 seconds, dominates this field. Pretty much in the same fashion from what he did a couple days ago in Hungary. Dominates this field. And now he has 3 marks under the 12.9 second barrier. I don't know, man. Jacoby Tharp is going crazy. He's now run 12.75. He's run 12.85, 12.89, 12.90, 12.91. Like his top 5 average is like 12.8 something. It's like insane. So listen, Jacoby Tharp is going crazy. He is showing the consistency and he's really just backing up why he was no fluke, right? Remember, last year, not only did he win NCAA championships, both indoors and out, he won USA championships, and then he went to the World Champs and made the final in the 110 hurdles. This year, he obviously went crazy all throughout the year, then gets to NCAAs, wins the title, breaks the world record, in the semis, and then he just goes on another tear, gets to Prefontaine, finishes second to Jamal Britt, who ran an all-time mark, but Jacoby Tharp still runs another all-time mark. He ran 12.90, right? Or 12.91, whatever it was. Then he just goes on a tear the rest of this season, right? But it's crazy. So shout out to Jacoby Tharp. I'm very, very impressed with his consistency, his progression. Monaco, my bad. I was forgetting Monaco, Hungary, and then now London. I'm very excited with his progression and his consistency. He's not going to be at USA's. And I think that's a strategic move from him because he is looking towards World Ultimate Championships. I just had a very long NCAA season. Why not waste my time, but why go to USA's and potentially burn myself out more, right? How about I skip that and just focus on World Ultimate Champs. He's about to have like a full month break off right now. Ramp back up going into World Ultimate Champs, and then potentially get the win there. And no. Oh no, Cordell Tinch is a wild card because he's the defending champ. I was gonna say, if you win the World Ultimate Champs, I think you get a wild card to World Champs next year. But obviously, USA already has a defending champion in the 110 hurdle, so it's like, yeah, he won't get that. He still has to be there. But I know someone said, someone said Tharp is consistent. The Americans are deep in the hurdles, absolutely. Jacoby running top 5 all time times every race now. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's like insane. It's absolutely insane. Tharp is a hurdle prodigy. So proud of Tharp. What happened to Jamal Britt? I think he just didn't execute a good race here. 13-16. I mean, I don't know, man. He just didn't execute well here. But he still finished top 4. Like, the hurdles are crazy. Tharpedo, which is crazy. I saw it when he was in high school. He's been on a different level since high school. Standout Jacoby. Ran for our club team. He was different in practice. Hey, he is living up to expectations now. That's dope that you got to recognize him in high school. Yeah, Tharp was smart to turn pro. No need, right? You break the world record. You're dominating the pros. It's like, why stay another year? Yes, I'm going to talk about Menendez in a second. This was good. I can't envision a world where Tharp and Britt not being at Worlds next year alongside Tinch for Team USA. They have performed excellently meet to meet. It's really going to be a tough nationals in 2027. One thing that I'll say is that, remember David Oliver. David Oliver dominated the 2010 season, broke the American record. I think he went undefeated that entire year. Like, he went crazy. But then, if you remember, he missed out. I forget 2011, but I know he missed out on the Olympic team in 2012. Now, granted, he did win the world gold in 2013, a year later. But I say this to say, the hurdles are still very, very tough to predict. Like, anything can happen on any given day. So, yes, Jacoby Tharp is dominating, but we're still early days where we're not looking. I can't say that Jacoby Tharp is like a Grant Holloway yet, because Grant Holloway has displayed his dominance over, just crazy, over 7 years. Well, six years to a degree, right? 2019 to, 2024, 5 years, whatever it is. But, so you understand, like, Grant Holloway has displayed dominance that I'm not sure we can put onto any other athlete yet. That's why I bring up David Oliver, where he dominated a season, but then he didn't actually make a team until 2013. Again, I forget if he made 2011, but like, didn't make the team in 2012, the Olympics, but then came back and won gold. So the hurdles are so unpredictable. Even Cordell Tinch dominated last year, but this year it's a little more mixed. Now you have Jacoby Tharp and Jamal Britt who stepped up, so it makes it interesting. But I do agree, USA's next year is going to be crazy, 2027. My bad. Shout out to and yes, Holloway was insane. So is Kendrick Smallwood returning to Texas or going pro? Honestly, I have no idea. But that's a good question. Let me know. Kendry Menendez. Menendez is going insane right now. Menendez is going crazy. 13.01 seconds for second place here. He's been making steady progress all throughout the year. He ran, I think, 13:09, 13:07, and then his personal best before this was 13:02. He is someone to really look out for. He is only 20 years old. I think he just turned 20 years old earlier this year. Do not sleep on Menendez. He might have a big breakout at some point, right? You're talking about Darren Robles with his world record of previous world record of 12.87, if I'm correct, from back in 2008. Something like that, I think. Menendez might take over that at some point. Not saying now, but like, he's in a generation of Jacoby Tharp, Jamal Britt, Trey Cunningham, Cordell Tinch, like guys who have all run sub 13. That is probably going to motivate him to continue to get even better and maybe have a big jump at some point. So shout out to Menendez. Don't sleep on his progression. Definitely keep an eye out for him. But Jacoby Tharp is the guy here. Trey Cunningham, Jacoby Tharp, they won't be at USA's, but Jamal Britt and Cordell Tinch will be. Cordell Tinch is actually entered in both the hurdles and the long jump. So we'll see how that does play out. Yes, don't sleep on Menendez. Menendez is a dark horse for Worlds 2027 and Olympics 2028, right? Don't sleep, because remember, my bad, Jacoby Tharp, before this year, he had never broken 13 seconds. Now, we saw that there was a potential, but I can see the potential there with Menendez. Now, I'm not saying Menendez is going to run 12.7, but I am saying Menendez might have a big jump at some point. And he is showing a lot of consistency. So if he jumps to a 12.8 at some point, don't be surprised. He's already run a lot of consistent marks, right? Jacoby Tharp, he ran 13:01 as his personal best last year. Jacoby Tharp did not break 13 seconds until he ran the world record. That was his first time under 13 seconds, if I'm correct. So shout out to Menendez. Okay, so that was a couple different events. Let's go in and talk about the men's. Let's talk about the men's 100. So men's 100 meters. This was an interesting race, a very, very interesting race. We're gonna get into this. So men's 100 meters. I don't know. I wonder what y'all think. So we got Kanisola Ajayi. Ajayi looked crazy. 9.84 seconds. Oblique Seville, second place, 9.87. Ajayi looking to the side. Like, Ajayi comfortably won this race. Obviously on paper, this was close, right? 9.84 to 9.87. But like, Ajayi comfortably won this race. This was not a close race. You know what I'm saying? But I also agree. I'm not surprised that Ajayi won. I think it was really between Oblique and Ajayi for the most part. Obviously, you could have looked at, and I think I did the poll on the preview a couple days ago, right? And yes, into a headwind, into a negative 0.7 headwind. Like, Ajayi is the real deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I loved it. I love it. Bringing the spice. Like, Ajayi turned into the side. And so this was a conversation a little bit earlier, right? I think I like that camaraderie. I like I don't know. I like the head-to-heads. I like the attention. I like the taunting. Like, I like that in the sport. I like that in the men's 100. And obviously, it's all friendly. Ajayi does that, looks to the side to Oblique, but then it's all good, right? They dap each other up. Oblique is like smiling. Like, it's all good because they all know that they're both, but like, I mean, in the sense of like everybody. Because even we saw it at Paris, the Paris Diamond League. Trayvon Bromell, he looks to the side a little bit from lane 8. And, he takes down Noah Lyles. Like, all of that to me is super, super fun. It makes it more exciting. And think about it. We're not seeing 9.7s and we're not seeing all those marks. But like, this is exciting to me. I feel like this is super exciting. We get consistent 9.8s all throughout the year, and these guys going back and forth. And that's in general what I'm thinking about with this men's. And yes, this is healthy banter, right? In general, this is what I'm thinking about with the men's 100 meters, where it's pretty wide open in terms of who is really going to be on top, who will get the win at any given point, right? It's like very competitive. Anyone, like any of the top guys can win on any given day, right? Like, that I really love about the men's 100 meters right now. So obviously, Ajayi has been super consistent. He's going to be going to the Commonwealth Games, and he's like peaking perfectly, right? Because I think Commonwealth Games is in about 2 weeks at the end of this month. And then you have Oblique Seville, who just came off running 9.82. He still has a world lead. He ran that at the Jamaican National Champs. He's run 9.88, I think, on 2 occasions this year, right? Prefontaine and at Monaco. And then now he runs 9.87. Like, he is maintaining a string of consistent performances. And then you add in Trayvon Bromell, who took down Noah Lyles and who took down Oblique Seville earlier this year. Then you add in Noah Lyles, who took down, a bunch of guys earlier in the year. I like how competitive the men's 100 meters is across the board. Obviously, I know someone mentioned Kashane, right? Kashane needs to come back and try to redeem Jamaica. I mean, but Kashane has been injured, like, question marks, you know what I'm saying? So I like the competitive energy. I like the back and forth. I love how it's almost a question mark on who can truly win. I love the energy Ajayi and Tharp brings. This is what the sport needs. We can't have Noah doing all the tricks and the fun. Absolutely. That's also why I like Letsile. Letsile pulled out of this race as well. So I don't know. But I like Letsile because he also does that taunting. Like, it's fun. It's fun. Obviously within reason. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's entertaining. But then, so I'll come back to Ajayi and Oblique Seville in a second. Second place, Ramel Glaive, 9.97 seconds. He just won the UK championships in the 100, and he's been having a very consistent season, continues to back it up. The top British athlete here, way ahead of Zarno Hughes and Jeremiah Azu. All things considered, this was actually a pretty deep race. If you're talking about 6 guys under 10 seconds, it's pretty deep. Romel Glaive, Emmanuel Esemed, 9.97. He has been very consistent all year. And he's someone that we should look out for when we go to World Ultimate Champs. He'll be someone I think can make the final for sure. Giffield Lela coming back after some time off, 9.99. He's going to be at Commonwealth Games, if I'm correct. Also, I just saw Banda Walaza. He ran 10.05 seconds in like pouring rain or something in where was that at? Luzerne this past weekend or a couple days ago. Then you get down to Jordan Anthony, 9.99 seconds. So, and then the rest of the guys. So I'm going to come back to Jordan Anthony in a second. But with Ajayi, and this might be a video that I do with, I might put a video out tomorrow, either tomorrow or Monday or something like that. Something along the lines of, and shout out to Jordan because I really like Jordan, but like something along the lines of like what I did for Gout Gout and Tate Taylor. Like, the world was thinking about Jordan Anthony, but we got, Kansela Ajayi. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ajayi has been living up to the expectations that maybe weren't even placed on him, right? I don't think anyone had true expectations for Ajayi. The only expectations I think some people had were, can you back up what you did at the World Champs last year, where you ran 9.8, you ran 9.9, and then you made to make the final, and you finished like 6th or 7th. I forget where he finished, right? But can you at least back that up in some capacity? And that's what he's doing all throughout 2020, 2026. Let me just bring up Ajayi and Let me bring up Ajayi and what he's done this year, because the consistency that he's been displaying is really, I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy. And he's that's 50 meters. And he's building up towards the Commonwealth Games. So Ajayi this year, actually, I'm gonna just bring up all because I think he has a lot of marks. Ajayi this year has run 9.84 on 3 different occasions. 3 separate occasions. Ajayi has run 9.84 seconds, and with all different wins. So look at what he did at this was at East Regionals. He ran 9.84 seconds, but he did it with a slight tailwind. So people could say, oh, NCAA athlete, oh, little tailwind, oh, he won't match it. Now he goes to NCAAs and he runs a windy 9.7, but then he goes to Prefontaine with basically no wind. He runs 9.84, basically no wind, right? Then he comes to the London Diamond League, and with a headwind, he runs 9.84 again. So in theory, these 3 races in progression have actually gotten better and better. 9.84 back in this was back in May, 9.84 in June, and then 9.84 now this is early July, right? July 4th weekend. And then 9.84 in mid-July. All with wind, a tailwind, basically no wind, and then a headwind. Like, this is the consistency that you want to see from an athlete. This is what you want to see from an athlete. And Ajayi is really, really, like, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. And I know someone said it. Earlier. Oh yes, the Nigerian Federation, Nigerian Athletics Association needs to do right by Ajayi. Like, if there's one thing, just please, Ajayi, please make sure that Ajayi is doing well, because you're not only looking at one of the best Nigerian, obviously the best, in terms of like all-time marks, like national record, all that stuff, like the best Nigerian athlete, the fastest Nigerian athlete, but you are looking at someone who has the potential to be one of the top athletes overall. Top 100-meter sprinters overall, right? Because remember what, he's only 22 years. 22 years old is crazy. Ajayi is 22 years old, he's 21 right now. He's turning 22 in September. Like, this is very, very dangerous for the world, because people kind of overlooked him a little bit, and then he got to Worlds last year, made the final, and is like, yo. So listen, Nigerian Federation, just do what y'all got to do. And I don't think. So thinking about African athletes, and I'm going to go to Oblique, and then I'm going to talk about Jordan Anthony. Thinking about African athletes, obviously, Letsile Teboho, he got the silver medal in 2023 at the World Champs. But prior to then, I don't know when the last time an African athlete actually won a medal at the Olympics or Worlds. I don't think it's happened in a very, very long time, right? So it might be Frankie Fredericks, right? So yeah, an African athlete hasn't won a medal at the Olympics since 1996. Frankie Fredericks got the silver. And then at the World Championships, we saw Letsile get the silver in 2023. But before then, you have to go all the way back to, no, was that the first ever? Listen, so in history, you only have, when talking about the 100 meters at the World Championships or the Olympic Games, you only have Letsile Teboho. He has the silver medal from 2023. Then you have Frankie Fredericks, who has the silver medals from 1992 and 1996. Right? Those are only two. And then you have to go all the way back, I think, to the 1900s. And my bad, there's like lightning going on. It's a crazy storm right now. So my bad if you hear lightning in the background. I think Reggie Walker from South Africa, he won the gold medal back in 1908. So the point is, Ajayi has the opportunity to become a medalist at Worlds next year, Olympics the year after, and potentially a gold medalist. Like, I don't think anyone, I don't know if anyone would be surprised to say like, oh, Ajayi could be a gold medalist. Like he looks to be on pace to become a gold medalist at some point. And it goes back to my point of the men's 100 meters is insanely competitive, right? Like we're looking at Oblique, Ajayi, Bromell, Noah Lyles, who all have different wins this year on the circuit. And then you add in the Kashane Thompsons, right? You add in, whoever else on the circuit, and it just becomes a mixed bag. Oblique Seville has the one gold, but it's not like he's invincible, right? He's lost a bunch of races this year. Noah Lyles, obviously he has, gold in 23 and 24, but like, obviously he's not invincible. He just lost to Trayvon Bromell, right? Ajayi, he's still new, so he has to kind of like step himself up, right? But he's being very consistent. I mean, you don't beat out the reigning world champion in back-to-back major races without being, this isn't like, oh, I beat out Oblique Seville running 9.9. Nah, he's running 9.8s, and Oblique is running 9.8s. That's big, right? Trayvon Bromell, now TBD in terms of like long-term, but it's like, who knows? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very, very competitive. So I'm excited to see how things kind of play out. With Oblique Seville, 9.8s, I think this may be a thing of, and apologies, I'm not getting into all the comments, but I'm just want to make sure I can go through. I'm gonna definitely circle back to some comments. What do you call it? The thing is with Oblique Seville, he's actually being very consistent. He won the gold. Oh snap! Whoa, my bad. Woo! I hope my thing didn't cut out. That was crazy. Yo, there is lightning and thunder. My computer screen cut out for a second, but okay. Hopefully I'm good. My bad. Okay. Okay, no, it didn't cut out. My computer screen cut out for some reason. Okay, good. My whole screen like went black, but all good. Oblique Seville is actually being yeah. Yes, like that was thunder. That was thunder, lightning, it's pouring, it's crazy. Yes, I did. Like I did. I know it's crazy. I don't even know what happened. My whole screen went black, but I guess I was still good. What I was saying, Oblique Seville, he won the gold medal last year, and he's lost a whole bunch of races over the past couple, I guess, weeks, right? Really, he's only won 300-meter races out of, I think, 6 that he's run this year, right? He won Jamaica Nationals. He won a race in Jamaica earlier than that. He won the Monaco Diamond League, but then he lost in Texas. He lost Prefontaine, and he lost this race here. But he is showing a level of consistency in the 9.8 range. And one thing to think about is Oblique is not peaking for something like Ajayi has, right? So Ajayi peaked for NCAAs to do well there, but then he also is looking to do well at Commonwealth Games, which is coming up in 2 weeks. So he's kind of maintaining himself. Oblique Seville is focused on World Ultimate Championships. That's coming in September. So him running the world lead 9.82 at the Jamaican National Champs, that makes sense because he wanted to do well there. But then he's going to drop back and really focus on preparing for World Ultimate Champs. So I think when we get to the second half of the season, so I think Silesia is going to be like Silesia, Lausanne, that's going to be like late August. That's when we'll see Oblique Seville start to step up a little bit more. And that's where it will get very interesting. I want to see Oblique, Noah, Trayvon, Ajayi, depending on, maybe he takes a little break. I want to see them go head to head in a race, maybe the Diamond League final. That's what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we'll see what's up. But shout out to Oblique Seville. And then I want to talk about Jordan Anthony in a second, but I appreciate you. you was about to duck and cover, bro. Like, it was crazy. Bad loud. My mom would have made me log off for safety reasons, which is crazy. Like, yes, I know. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Because I don't know where everyone is at, but we got like heat waves that was coming through New York. We had like there was like a wildfires in Canada that were like bringing the air quality down in here. So it was like, it's been crazy. Now we got thunderstorms and all that. So yeah, it's been wild. Let's see. Okay, so this is a good note. So a few days ago, Oblique was on TikTok live and someone asked him if he was loaded and he said no. He's just overweight because he's been eating too much. Yeah, he's still running the times he's been running. How did he say that? Because that sounds kind of funny. He's just he's just overweight because he's been eating too much. Like, is he? I don't know. That's a weird thing to say. Obviously, I don't know the context. I didn't see it, but like, it just feels weird to say like, nah, I'm just overweight because I've been eating too much. Like, what? But I mean, granted, I feel like he's been running well. I'll say that. But I think it does go to the idea that like, even though he said that actually, it's just funny. It's like, oh, I'm overweight because I've been eating too much. Like, what? I mean, I guess I can understand. Sure, he's been eating. If he's eating too much, it's just weird. Like, it's so weird. It's so weird. Yeah, a little water weight. I don't know. It's weird. But like, all of this is to say, even though Oblique Seville is the reigning world champion and he's been consistently running 9.8s, the event is still relatively open considering how many times he's actually lost races. Like, Oblique doesn't go into these races wanting to lose, and he's healthy and all that, but like, it's still competitive. I think in any given race, maybe now, I think most people might pick Ajayi, but you still have to factor in that Oblique is a world champion. So going to the World Ultimate Championships, which I hope Ajayi is going to compete at, I would still maybe lean towards Oblique because of like a long-term season. Ajayi had a full NCAA season, all those things. So those are things to take into consideration when we're thinking about the 100 meters as we go throughout the year. Yeah, I don't think someone who's overweight runs 9.8. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's just that talented. I was just thinking about Fred. That whole fishing contributor is probably eating good, right? Okay, so the other thing, just to note, Jordan Anthony. So and like I said, I'm gonna probably do a video about like Ajayi versus Jordan Anthony and how Ajayi was like the guy that people were looking for from Jordan Anthony. But I'm not sure what to think of Jordan Anthony, right? I'm just not sure because he had a good start. Like, he got out very well for like the first 10 meters. And then he just like fell back. I know it's I know it's like the running joke or whatever, like, but he really did start to kind of just like not necessarily go backwards, but just not have an extra gear once we hit like 50, 60 meters, right? And it's weird because it was like everyone ran past him. But it's really weird because Jordan Anthony on paper has actually been pretty consistent. I think the expectations have kind of blinded myself and like I think the world in general to what he's actually been doing this year. So I just want to bring him up here just for context, because if you look at his all-time marks, he's actually been having a good year, like a good first year in the 100 meters. So yeah, for example, like his personal best is 9.91 seconds, which he ran this year in April. Then at the Monaco Diamond League just a couple days ago, last week, he ran 9.92. So his second best ever. Then he ran 9.96 in Rome earlier this year, right? Then he just ran 9.99 in Paris, right? Wait, when was this? This was in Oh, this was a Paris Diamond League. Yeah. Okay, yeah, this was a Paris Diamond League, right? And then he just ran another 9 point. Oh no, my bad. What am I getting confused? Monaco was there. Paris Diamond League was a couple weeks ago, but Paris Diamond League, and then he ran 9.99 at the London Diamond League just today. So on paper, it's crazy to say, but you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 5 of his top 7 performances have been this year in the past 2 months, right? 2, 3 months. But I think the expectations are he should have been, and again, even to myself, right? Like I have gladly admitted that, like, not, I don't know if it's gladly, but I've admitted that, like, yeah, I had higher expectations. I've definitely hyped. The expectations were like, you should be running 9.8 now, or like something faster. And obviously the 9.75, that windy mark from whatever it was last year, like that plays into it. But like, he's been consistent for his first professional season, and he obviously switched coaches. So it's a different situation of like, okay, you stay with your college coach. He's switched coaches. So he's been very, very, very consistent. But our expectations are like, oh, you should have been faster by this point. And when you compare to Ajayi, who obviously was in the NCAA with Jordan, obviously now won the NCAA champs this year, it's like that direct comparison makes it seem like, oh, you are supposed to be much faster than, not only much faster, but also like, well, much faster than you are. This is what I was going to think of. The bigger problem to a degree, I don't know if it's a problem, but the bigger thing to a degree is that he's finishing like middle of the pack in a lot of his races. So when he goes to, this he won in Tom Jones, but when he runs 9.92, he finishes second place to Oblique Seville. When he runs, my bad, let me just pull these up. When he runs 9.96, he finishes fourth place. I don't know why these don't come up. He finishes fourth place in this race, right? Here he finishes sixth place, right? So it's like the placing relative to the rest of the field. When you say our expectations, are you referring to you, Coach Rob, and Jordan's camp? Obviously, sir, not everyone had those expectations, but definitely the public in general, like the majority of the public had certain expectations, or like we're thinking about, oh, Jordan Anthony is heading in this trajectory, right? Again, shout out to all of y'all who definitely had different expectations, right? Who were looking like, nah, I don't expect him to do anything, right? But it is what it is. But yeah, I think I'm okay having 2 points of views where it's like, I definitely had some expectations. I thought he would be doing much better by now. But who knows? That is one. But then the other side is giving him time, right? Like, as I've been saying, I'm never going to shut an athlete out, right? Like I'm not on the train of like, this athlete is never going to do XYZ, because you're just falling into a trap of, when if that athlete does do something, it's like, oh, well, now I either got to backtrack, or like, I got to admit, like, I don't know. I think it's okay to hold 2 different points, 2 different ideas at the same time. You could have had expectations and like thought an athlete was going to be doing a certain thing by this point, but then you also can acknowledge that like, they maybe can have some time to continue to progress, right? Like, it is what it is. It's just like the same thing where I'm talking about Ajayi and like saying that like, okay, nah, he's looking to be one of the better athletes. But like, what if Ajayi never wins a medal, right? Like, what if he goes on to never win a medal at a global championships? And maybe he never improves, hypothetically, right? He never improves on this 9.84, right? Then we would circle back and be like, oh man, like what happened, right? So I think you have to, at least I understand, and I'm holding 2 thoughts at once. We can never be absolute about, what is actually going to happen, but you can also question like, oh no, I thought this was going to happen, but XYZ, you know what I'm saying? So is what it is. But hey, shout out to everyone who definitely, were like, no, I'm not on the Jordan Anthony train, but it is what it is. Again, we'll see what actually does happen. And again, for context, like this is his first professional season. Just like Ajayi is entering his first professional season, right? Like, I mean, he's now newly minted as a pro. So anything can happen. And just like, shout out to Oblique Seville. How many years, like Oblique Seville got 4th place and made finals 3 back-to-back years before he even won a single medal, which happened to be gold last year. So it's tough. It's tough. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. But is what it is. Yes, we're not fortune tellers. We're not fortune tellers. And yes, I will say, if y'all check, I know y'all was saying like, oh, me and Coach Rob, and this, that, whatever. I will say, go back to our conversations. I was very clear that Jordan Anthony winning a 60-meter gold medal does not mean that he's in the conversation to win a medal outdoors. Like that I was been very clear on. And again, you could check the tapes, you could check, what I've said, because winning 60 meters, that's a different race. Now, if y'all remember, he did open up his season running 991. And I was very high on like, okay, he's looking to be in some good form. But I've been very clear. Winning 60-meter gold does not mean anything as it relates to what he's going to do in the 100 meters when it gets to, winning a medal at a global championships. Those are two different conversations. Even running fast on the circuit, that is a whole different conversation, right? You can run fast on the circuit on any given day. We've seen it from Akani Simbine. We've seen it from Fernando Manyala. We've seen it from a bunch of different athletes, right? But what happens when you get to a global championships? That's why even with Ajayi, I can see him definitely getting there, but like, I can't pick against an Oblique Seville as it stands because he's proven to be able to win a medal at a world championships. Noah Lyles does not have, I guess, the pure raw talent, if you want, compared to certain athletes to a degree in the 100, or even a better case is Letsile Teboho. Letsile Teboho is not dominating the 100 on the circuit. He's a complete question mark, but at least in 2023, like he has a medal at the global championships, right? Like, even when he got to 2024, Letsile ran a personal best in the final at the Olympic Games in the 100 meters. So that's why I say it, like, you got to separate like circuit performances and then even indoor 60-meter performances. But like that doesn't correlate to winning a medal at a global championships. That's like something else we got to see. And that's why I said at the top of this, like, Oblique Seville to me is a favorite going into World Ultimate Champs. Oblique Seville, Noah Lyles, those are the guys. Ajayi is trending in a direction where he can break that up, but like I can't say Ajayi is going to beat them because I've seen them beat everyone else. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I got to think about. But yeah, shout out to the men's 100 meters. All right, yeah, let's go talk about the women's 200 because that's the last one for the meet. And this was good. This was very, very good. I'm actually very, very impressed. Let's see. There we go. I'm very impressed with this women's 200. Shout out to the women's 200 meters where we saw Julian Alfred get the win, 21.66 seconds. Gabby Thomas, 21.81 seconds. Sha'Carri, 22.24. Dean Asher-Smith with a good season's best, 22.28. And Amy Hunt with a strong season's best of 22.30. Shout out to Success Edwan from lane 1 running 22.53. What she ran? She ran 22.43 to win UK champs, I think. 22.53 from lane 1. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, listen, this was a good race. This was an amazing, amazing race. 21.66 seconds. I think as some of y'all said, Julian Alfred is operating. She's like stepped up. I don't know if she's stepped up or more is just like realizing her potential and realizing the potential that, we've been seeing maybe for a couple of years in the 200. Obviously, I did that video where I was breaking down, where I was breaking down the idea that Julian Alfred hated the 200, but now she kind of warmed up to it. And I think these performances are really showcasing that. 21.66 coming off a 21.51 just last week. And she ran 10.83 in between then. So this was good. This was very good from Julian Alfred. She executed, and then, well, actually, I'm just going to talk about them in tandem because Gabby Thomas, 21.81. I also think this was a very, very good race. This was a very, very good race. Obviously, she ran 21.7 earlier this year, but Gabby Thomas and Julian Alfred both ran very strong curves. Obviously, Julian Alfred was leading off the curve, but Gabby Thomas was not too far behind. But this is where I was very impressed. Julian Alfred holding off Gabby Thomas in a way that like again, she's just unlocking a new opportunity where she is great in that second half. We saw in and this is in context of Julian Alfred. We saw in the race that what do you call it, that Julian ran in at the Rome Diamond League, where she kind of like broke down in the last kind of 50 meters or so, and she ran 21.9. But when you look at what she did in Monaco, and when you look at what she did here, like, these were good. I could also argue. I know someone said, like, why you holding off when she pulled away? Well, yeah, I mean, she pulled away, held off. I mean it in the sense that, like, her second half has just been much better than in previous years. That's what I'm kind of thinking of, right? When I look at Julian and this 21.66, there's almost an I don't know. No. I don't know. I was gonna say, like, it's almost as good as her 21.5. Obviously not on the clock, but just in the way that she's executing that second half of her race. Obviously, the 21.5 is much better, but like, the consistency is what I love from Julian Alfred here. Like, she is really unlocking something special in the 200. And yes, going forward, I think for anyone, whether it's obviously Gabby here, Sharika, Adeja Haj, like, and Melissa Jefferson wouldn't, like, I think for anyone, it's going to be very hard to take down Julian Alfred in the 200 at any point. It's going to be very, very hard, right? Like, this is going to be tough. So Julian Alfred, she's going crazy. She's going absolutely crazy. I'm excited. Gabby Thomas, as I said, she ran a very strong first 100, but then the second 100, she was just not able to catch Julian, and Julian just like pulled off, right? Like, Julian really just like, held her off and increased that gap. But shout out to Gabby Thomas running 21.81. So she's essentially improved in every race on this little European tour that she did. She ran 21.84 at the Monaco Diamond League. She ran 21.83 at the Hungary Continental Tour, and then she runs 21.81 at this London Diamond League. And she makes history. She now has, as it stands, she has the most sub 22 second performances of any athlete in history. Gabby Thomas now has 20 sub 22 second races in her entire career. That is just a step ahead of Sharika Jackson, who has 19. Now, when we get to the rest of the year, we're going to see, Sharika Jackson run a few more 200s. We'll see Gabby Thomas run a few more 200s. So I think that's going to be an interesting back and forth for the all-time record of sub 22 second performances. And when you get to like the next athletes, like, it's really not close. I think Merlene Ottey had 17 all time, if I'm correct. And yeah, because Gabby Thomas tied it with 17 in Texas, and then now she has 3 more. So yeah, 20. So yeah, so that's like very, very, very impressive, like getting that all-time record and the consistency. I know that, well, I don't know. Let me see. Is it improving, or is it that the tracks are progressively faster? I mean, I don't know. Well, no, because Julian Alfred ran 21.6 here instead of the 21.5. I actually think Monaco, I don't know. Monaco and Budapest may arguably be faster tracks. Like, y'all know Monaco has what Tyson Gay ran 19.6 there. Justin Gatlin ran 19.6 there back in the day. Like, Monaco is a fast track, but it is what it is. But yeah, I think that's very, very special for Gabby Thomas, and the consistency is there. So that's where I look at you're looking at a core contingent of women in the 200 right now. Julian Alfred, who I think, looking into the future, she's going to be very hard to beat. Well, actually, I'll circle back to Julian in a second. Julian Alfred is going to be very hard to beat. Melissa Jefferson wouldn't, obviously. She won gold last year. Gabby Thomas, obviously, she's the Olympic champion. Sharika Jackson, she's getting back into the fold. And then Adeja Haj. I guess TBD on Adeja Haj. Obviously, she ran the 21.68, or whatever it was, right? 21.68. But she had to, we just got to see her a little bit more. And she ran 21.7 behind Julian as well. But we got to see her a little bit more because she's just getting into the fold. I'm looking at a 5-way, women's 200 meter overall race as it stands. Shauna Miller-Weibo, I thought I might see a little bit more from her here, but like, she's being very consistent. I'm going to circle back to Julian Alfred in a second. Let me see. Wait. Melissa Jefferson Wooden can definitely beat Julian. She did it last year, but y'all still underestimate her. When did Melissa beat Julian in the 200? Melissa never beat Julian in a 200. We're talking about the 200. The 100 is a different story, right? Like I'm just talking about the 200 right now. So just before, I'm gonna come back to Julian Alfred and Gabby Thomas in a second. Shawna Miller-Weibo, great consistency. I'm interested to see how she continues to progress. But shout out to her with this 22.24. She's obviously targeting World Ultimate Champs. I don't think she'll be at Commonwealth Games. Dina Asher-Smith, this was a big race for Dina. 22.28 seconds. I know that someone said, my bad, I'm forgetting the comments, but someone said that, you know, in the last stream, you said that she could maybe hold off Shawna. She almost did, but my bad. Again, thunder, lightning, all that. She almost did hold her off, but like this was a good race for Dina. 22.28, season's best. This bodes well for her going into, again, I don't know if she's running Commonwealth or Europeans, whatever, right? I'm assuming Europeans, but this bodes well for the rest of her season. Now, she's not in the conversation of the Julian, Gabby, Sharika. Like she's not in that conversation, but she's looking better, right? I think this is a big motivational boost because Amy Hunt, who also did pretty well here, this was a good race to take down Amy Hunt and to take down Success, as Amy Hunt was growing in status as like the next up, for the European, British women, right? So Dina is only doing Europeans individually. Okay, good. So that'll be that's good leading into it. And so she'll be doing the relay, I guess, at Commonwealth. But I think when it comes to the rest of the year, this is motivational for Dina, but Amy is still very close. And I think that's something to think about as we progress through the year. Amy Hunt lost to Success at the UK Championships, maybe had some setback. I think she explained it in a pre-meet interviews where she was saying like it wasn't a setback, it was more just like training and inconsistencies or something like that. But Amy Hunt still being close to Dina Asher-Smith is a big deal because Dina isn't quote unquote in the clear, right? She still has Amy right up on her, and Amy is still trending upwards to a degree. So we'll see. Again, I'm impressed with Success. Unfortunately, in Navy Battle, Cambridge Sturgis didn't do as well in this race here. But the one thing that I'm really interested in as we look forward is what will Julian do at the World Ultimate Championships? That's my number one question, because she's already qualified in the 100. She's going to be qualified in the 2. She's already qualified in both. Technically, she's not qualified in the 200 because she doesn't have 5 races, but she'll just has to run one more 200-meter race and she's qualified. But let's just say she's already qualified in both events. Gabby Thomas is only doing the 200 at World Ultimate Champs. Sharika Jackson, I don't know what she's doing at World Ultimate Champs. Is she doing the 100 and the 200? Is she only doing the 100? I don't know. But I wonder if the thing that I really want to see is Julian Alfred completing that 100, 200 double. Now, I'm not saying it in the sense of like 100, 200 double at World Ultimate Champs, but like just managing that double. Because 2 things. One, at the Paris Olympic Games, we saw her actually do the double. She won the 100-meter gold, and then she got silver to Gabby Thomas in the 200, right? But that schedule was not great because after the 100-meter final, she literally had to wake up the next morning to run the 200-meter heat. So the schedule was not great. Now in 2023, Julian Alfred also did the double. This was still while she was coming immediately off the NCAA season, and she finished 5th place in the 100, and then she finished 4th place in the 200 at the World Champs in Budapest. So she did a good double there. But I guess the question is, if Julian Alfred is going to consistently double, does she have enough of a buffer to beat out a Gabby Thomas who is only focusing in on the 200, right? Like that's my question, right? That's my question as it relates to when we look forward to Ultimate Champs. Does Julian Alfred maybe go all in on the 100, or does she go all in on the 200 at Ultimate Champs, or does she do the double and then maybe slightly compromise herself? You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. Because again, I think obviously Gabby Thomas right now, she's behind Julian, but I think we can't underestimate her, especially when she's locked in and she's focused on the 200, which she is going to be this year. So we'll see. Gabby's weakness is a curve. She can wheel in most, in the last 60, but not the top doublers. And yeah, what's crazy is Gabby ran a very strong curve here. She also ran a very strong curve in Monaco. Hungary, she ran a terrible curve, but she just wasn't able to really. Julian is operating on a different level right now. So, we'll see. We'll see. As it relates to Dina definitely has recommended herself or re-cemented herself as a medal threat in the 100, 200 for European champs. Yeah, I saw your note there. Amy is definitely. Oh, hold up. See, I'm getting alerts for flash flood warning. Dina has definitely re-cemented herself as a medal threat for the 100. Sorry, the weather is like crazy here, so I just got a crazy one of these like automatic alerts. Dina has re-cemented herself as a medal threat for the 100, 200. Amy is definitely close, but now it's a test to see how these women peak. Amy does have a lot of races for Commonwealth and Europeans. That's a good point. Good point. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, Dina, and this is, I'll say this, and I'm going to get to some other comments, but like, I'll say this. Dina, my only problem with Dina is like, unfortunately, it's like, I'm almost rating Dina in two realms where I'm rating her as she used to be one of the best in the world, right? Like, I know people are going to give her exceptions about 2019, but like, she won the gold medal in 21.8 in the 200. She won the silver medal in 10.8 in the 100 behind Shelly. And then she came back in 2022 and got the bronze medal in the 200 behind Sharika and Shelly. So she was a top athlete in the world, like world. Forget Euros, forget like she was top athlete in one of the best in the world. But then she had a big drop off. And obviously the Olympics in 2021, she was injured, but then she had a big drop off. And now you're looking at Amy Hunt right in her realm. So I'm unfortunately seeing the drop off of Dina no longer being a like global medal threat as it stands now. But then also Amy Hunt got a medal at World Champs last year and then is now like right there by Dina. So it's tricky. It's like very tricky. It's very tricky, but we'll see what Dina actually does at Euros. I'm excited to see how she progresses. Yeah, just needs to get oh my bad. She just needs to go a little faster. That's all Dina needs to do. Yeah, I don't know. A lot happening. Yeah, the weather is crazy. The weather is crazy around here. Yeah, my bad. Jump scare alert. My bad. Stay safe over there. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I just got this crazy like flash flood warning. I don't know, my phone going crazy. But yeah, so that's a little bit on Dina. Okay, I'm gonna go back to some comments. I don't know how much people will do the double at World Ultimate Champs, given it's day 200 semis and finals, and then day 3 200 semis and finals. Yeah, that's why I'm interested to see what does someone like Julian Alfred, what does someone like Sharika Jackson, what do they choose to compete in? Because Gabby Thomas is only doing the 200, and we know that doubling, no matter what, and especially I saw some. I'll come back to the Sharika comment. Especially Sharika, like it's going to be tough for her, but like Julian Alfred, she's made a little bit of a buffer, but how much buffer do you have after running rounds of the 100, right? And yes, I know it's only 2 rounds of each event at the World Ultimate Champs, but it's not easy. Yes, she's taken down Gabby Thomas. She's run 21.5 and 21.6, but like that gap begins to close a little bit when you now have rounds of the 100 meters in your legs, right? Like it's different. My bad. It's different. So that's something to take into consideration. Let's see. I know someone said, yeah, Sharika has a father time problem. I mean, who knows? She's still in there, but like, it's tough. I mean, I know a lot of people going to hate on Gabby. Sharika and Alfred will be going for gold medals, but Gabby can just, for bronze. Again, who knows? Gabby has a gold medal at, I don't know, man. I don't know. Gabby has a gold medal at the Olympics. Gabby has multiple medals over the course of her career, and like she's not doubling. So, it is what it is. Yeah, exactly. So just don't root for Gabby if you don't want to, but it's disrespectful to discredit her accomplishments. That's the thing. Like people be going too hard for any athlete, right? Any given athlete. Like don't discredit another athlete's accomplishments just because you don't favor them. And that goes for anybody, right? Whether it's Gabby, whether it's Noah, whether it's Oblique, whether it's Sharika, whether it's Julian Alfred, like don't discredit an athlete, but hype up, your other athletes. I wish people would be a little more nuanced. You said, okay, well, sorry, Juju, Melissa, Gabby will be the top 3 in the 200. Who knows? I don't know the lineup for the women's 4x1 for Great Britain. I know that maybe it was Success, Amy, Dina, and Imani, I think. I know that Daryl Needle ran on another 4x1 in that race, but not the main one. Let me see. London 2024 Diamond League, it was almost the same race, but Julian did not have that strength in the latter half and got hawked down by Gabby Thomas. Thomas also ran around the same time in that Diamond League. Yeah, that's a good point. Gabby ran like 21.87, I think, in that Diamond League. So this was a little bit faster. But yeah, Julian Alfred has stepped up in her second half of the 100 meters. So yeah, she's really stepped up. But I do think Gabby has also stepped up in her first 100. At least Monaco and she ran 21.82 in 2024. Oh, okay. Thanks for the cross check. I didn't realize it was that fast. Okay. So I think Gabby has stepped up in the first 100 of her 200 race, at least in Monaco and London. But like the second half, Julian has just stepped up even more so, which is making it tougher. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so let me see. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy how people don't credit Gabby. The writing is on the wall with her accolades. Like, yeah, people would die for her career, right? Like, people would not die, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, her career, like, she has the most sub-22 performances in history, right? Just surpassing Sharika, who previously had it, who obviously was an all-time great. Like, the accolades are there, Olympic golds and all that. So, yeah, okay. I'm not gonna go into the. Yeah, and this is one thing with Sharika, even though it's going to be tough, and I'll admit, like, I think it's going to be tough for Sharika, depending specifically in the 200, depending on how she chooses to double, depending on what she focuses on. But like, it's going to be tough because you're looking at essentially Gabby Thomas being insanely consistent. Like, she's insanely consistent running 21.8s, and she's skipping USAs. Remember, Gabby is skipping USAs and focused on World Ultimate Champs. So that's one challenge for Sharika. Julian Alfred stepped up big time, right? Julian Alfred running 21.5, essentially getting very close. She's a 10th of a second off Sharika's best ever, right? And Julian is insanely young. 21.5 and now 21.6. So that's a whole problem. Melissa Jefferson Wooden is also young, right? And she's at 21.6. You have Adeja Haj, who's like the youngest at 21.6. So with Sharika, it gets tough. Now, I think Sharika is still very capable of getting 20. Who knows? Anything can happen. But like, I was going to say, like, getting back to 21.4, anything can happen, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to kind of parse through the landscape of the women's 200, right? So we'll see what Sharika ultimately does do throughout the year, but it's not going to be easy. But that's why I'm looking at, like, again, Sharika, Julian, Melissa, Gabby, Adeja, like, all those 5 are like very competitive. Shawnee kind of like outside looking in a little bit for now. So yeah. Okay. My bad. I'm going to roll through a few different comments as we kind of close out the 200 here. I know, yeah, saying the principals were injured and that's the only way Gabby won anything. I mean, I don't know. Y'all could do what you want, but like, is what it is. Like, is what it is. Yeah, we are not disrespecting Gabby, but it's hype that got you guys put on her. Wait, what? Okay. Actually, see, this is why, like, it makes no sense. Like, you're saying hype. Like, I don't know, man. Let me see. Julian competes very frequently, and it makes her say race sharp. Yep. And yes, and that's in regards to Julian. Yep. So true. Gabby has improved her first 100, but she needs more speed maintenance in the latter half of her 200. Exactly. Like, she needs to put together the races that she did today in London and the second half that she did in Hungary, right, to run down Kayla. That's what she needs to do. Yeah, I thought in Navy Battle we'd be having a better season. Yeah, I'm rooting for her. She'll be at USA, so we'll see how she does pan out. Yeah, I'll, like, this is, I guess, in general, I can understand this, right? I love Gabby and always will, but witnessing the same time, again, it can be frustrating sometimes. I think, like, I can understand this, right? Because it's like you want her to do well and you want her to, like, dispel the narratives and the disrespect and, like, all that stuff. But, like, she's being insanely consistent. Like, it's crazy because any other athlete that was running like this, people would be going crazy. It's just like with Ajayi. Ajayi is running 9.8 consistently, but he hasn't won a single medal. Like, he hasn't won a single medal at any point, right? But because Gabby is being compared to Sharika and Julian, it's like she gets downplayed. It's weird. It's weird. But we can hype up everybody. When was Sharika's last 200 race? She ran the Chinese Diamond League. She ran the 200 at the Shanghai Diamond League. That was the last one she ran. Remember, she ran those 200s. Let's see. Julian had the second half in the London. Yeah. Julian had the second half in the London Diamond League last year, 21-7-1. Shame about the injury at Worlds last year, 100%. It would have been so dope to see what she did at Worlds. And it would have been interested to see how she doubled up the 100 and the 200. But, okay. I'm going to talk about Melissa and Sha'Carri in a second, just for briefly. The way that Gabby is performing, she may show out on us at World Ultimate Champs. The thing to think about is that Gabby Thomas is skipping USAs, and she's being very strategic about her year, where she ran the three meets in Africa, right? In Botswana, in Kenya. I'm sorry, in Ethiopia, Kenya, then Botswana. She took time off. She jumped back to run one race in Texas. She took time off. She now jumped back to run 3 races in Europe, right? In Monaco, in Hungary, and in London here. She's taking time off now. Then she's going to come back in late August to lead up to the World Ultimate Champs. She's being strategic. She's being very strategic. So we'll see. So yeah, I agree. Let's see. I'm just going to roll through some comments. And my bad if I'm missing any of y'all comments, but shout out to everyone who is here. If you're here, like the live stream, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's see. Okay, but she's losing. That's why people question whether she'll win. Well, yes, but then she's also won. I think it's just, this is what I'll say. It's fair to question whether or not Gabby will win. 100% fair, right? Like, and even as I said now, it's going to be hard for anyone, in my personal opinion, to take down Julian Alfred based on her form now. Obviously, I gave the caveats of like the double and this, that, whatever, but like, it's going to be hard for anyone to take down Julian. But I think people are like jumping into discredit what she's actually doing as if she's a complete fluke, right? Like as if she's not doing anything. She won the gold medal at the Olympic Games. She won the bronze medal at her first ever global championships. Like, yeah, I realize she never made a world champ team. She never made an Olympic team, but the first time she did it, she won a bronze medal behind Elaine Thompson-Herah and Christine Mboma, right? She won a silver medal behind the fastest woman alive in the 200, right? In Budapest, right? So it's just, and she now has the most sub 22 second performances in history. Like, it's not like she's running 21.9s and never jumping back. Or it's not like she ran, 21.8 and then never ran it again. She has the most in history, more than, as it stands now, more than Sharika, right? That can change. More than Merlene Ottey, more than Allison Felix, more than Elaine Thompson-Herah, more than Veronica Campbell-Brown, right? Like, more than Florence Griffith-Joyner, more than Gwen Torrence. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's consistency. Like, that's all you want, consistency. That's all I can ask for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would rather an athlete. It's the same argument I give to like Kashane Thompson. Like, sure, he doesn't have gold medals, but he has back-to-back silver medals. Sure, Kenny B doesn't have those gold medals, but he has multiple silver medals. I would take that career any day over like someone who doesn't have any medals, right? Like, it's crazy. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, imagine thinking 21.8 is bad. Like, what is going on? People trying to clown Ajayi for being consistent. It's like, come on, yeah, come on. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Okay, I mean, I think you can look at, so the difference here is Ajayi is winning races with his 9.8, 9.84. Gabby's 21.8s is only getting her second place. Well, yes, and that's why I say it's fair to say, okay, maybe Gabby, it's going to be tough for Gabby to win races in the future, but like Gabby has won multiple medals, right? So it's just like, I hate to do it, but it's like, shout out to someone like Omanyala. I love Omanyala. Akani Simbine. I love Akani Simbine. Like, I'm talking about, I love these athletes in terms of their competitive drive, their consistency, and like them as people, like as human beings, the opportunities that I've had to speak with them, amazing people. They have won multiple races running 9.8s, 9.9s on the circuit, multiple years in a row. But like when you get to the championships, if you can't actually deliver on that, then unfortunately the circuit races are not going to mean as much, right? So that's why I do give athletes like Gabby Thomas, like Sharika Jackson, like Julian Alfred, right? Like Kenny B, like Noah Lyles, like Kishane Thompson. They are able to run fast throughout the year and also show up at championships, right? So that's why I think it's like, yes, but like, I'm saying, I don't know, but I respect, I'll say this, I respect the different opinions, right? And that's why I put them up, but I'm not going to put disrespect up, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's see. Yep, Gabby's a competitor. 21-8 by all means isn't bad. People are just influenced by the impossible. So when they don't see it, they're disappointed. That's just how track and field fans be frustrating. I agree. I'm not saying 21-8 is bad. I'm just saying there's a difference between her and Ajayi. Well, I just kind of broke things down. I don't know if that gives context to at least how I think about it. So yeah. Oh wait, it kind of seems like Akane Simbine. There are limits to consistency. The fans want to see progress. Well, but remember, and I realize I might have you might have commented before I spoke, but like remember, Akane Simbine doesn't have the medals, right? Like, at what point do medals mean nothing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know that we want to see fast times and all that, but like, at what point do medals like not hold weight? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, medals have to hold some sort of weight, or else I don't know. It's just weird. If we're only looking at time, that to me diminishes the sport, right? Time is in tandem with it, but like, I don't know. Like, we can't diminish medals as well. That's why, again, all due respect, but that's why I brought up Akane Simbine or Fernando Monialo. Like, they have fast times and they have consistency on the circuit, beating out athletes throughout their career. But like, you also have to perform when it counts the most. And someone, in the case of like Julian Alfred, she has both. Gabby Thomas has both, right? Sharika Jackson has both. Like, these are all-time marks that these athletes are running, and they're winning medals, right? Again, it's not like Gabby has done nothing at global champs. Like, every single time Gabby Thomas has competed at a global championships, she's come away with a medal. Like, every single time. She never lined up at a Worlds or Olympics and went home without a medal individually in the 200. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, that's the only thing. So I know that some comments were coming in after I kind of spoke, but okay. Maybe I'm gonna just do a video on Gabby. It's like weird. Well, but okay. And this is why I'll say this. I appreciate this comment. I think this is maybe a little bit of the problem. It's our expectations, right? People have the same energy for Kenny, who keeps running consistent but can't take the next step. Gabby has been great and consistent, but she just hasn't taken the next step to be dominant. This is a little bit of, I guess, my problem, because like, when you're running, like, look at the people who Kenny B or Gabby Thomas are losing to, right? Like, you're talking about all-time greats. Noah Lyles, whatever you say, whether you like him or not, Noah Lyles is an all-time great, like an all-time great, right? Sharika Jackson is an all-time great, an absolute all-time great. And when I'm talking about losing to, I'm talking about at the global championships, right? Elaine Thompson-Herah and Sharika Jackson. Those are who Gabby Thomas has lost to at a global champs. Obviously, Christina Mboma in 2021 and all that. Kenny B has lost to Noah Lyles and Letsile Teboho. Like, I don't know. People don't have the same energy for like Johan Blake when he lost to Usain Bolt, right? Obviously, he got the gold in 2011, but like, people don't have that same energy, right? Like, it's weird. Even someone like, I don't know, Andre DeGrasse won gold, but then he has a bunch of silvers and bronzes, right? Like, that's why I say, like, I feel like people are expecting Gabby to be like running 21.4s and 21.5s, but she's not. And it seemed as a disappointment, when in reality, she's running 21.6, 21.7, 21.8, and it's insanely consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just so happens that she's losing to Sharika Jackson. She first lost to Elaine Thompson-Herah, who ran 21.53 at the 2021 Olympics. She then lost to Sharika Jackson, who ran 21.41 at the Budapest World Champs. Like, you know what I'm saying? So even if Gabby Thomas ran 21.60, she wouldn't have won gold in those specific races. But I always say this, and I feel like I've said this for years. It's also a responsibility to show up healthy at a championships. So people can make excuses, but like you got to show up healthy and perform. That's like your job as a professional, right? So, it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, it is what it is. Okay, my bad. I gotta fast forward through some comments because I'm a little too far behind. Looking forward to seeing Gabby move up to the 400. That would be really, really dope. I'd be excited to see that. Let me see. Oh, and this comment. So, guys, one gold medal does not make you a winner. You need multiple medals. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that, because you know how many times I argue with people about Johan Blake in the sense that, like, I don't know. I try and tread the water where, like, I think Johan Blake in terms of his 200 career isn't as great as some others, but like some people discredit his 100-meter gold, but he won a 100-meter gold, right? Tyson Gay won a gold medal in the 100, right? Letsy Letoboho has a gold medal in the 200. Andre DeGrasse has a gold medal in the 200. Like, all these athletes, in my opinion, are winners. All these athletes are winners. Flojo has one gold medal in the 200. Yeah, like, who else am I thinking of? I don't know. Like, there's certain athletes who have one gold medal, and I still look at them as winners, right? Masai Russell has one gold medal in the 100-meter hurdles, right? So I don't know, but it's all mixed. Okay, so I'm gonna go to some comments now. So I got a fun fact. Last live, I said Elaine hasn't run much 200 meters since 2021. Sharika has ran more 200 meters than Elaine has since 2015, which is insane. Yeah, which to a degree, I think it makes sense, because Sharika Jackson has simply just been healthier than Elaine over a certain time period. I'll talk about Sharika. I'll talk about Sha'Carri and Melissa in a second. Sharika has been healthier than Elaine over the course of her career, right? So in 2018, if you remember, Sharika Jackson ran a few 200s that year, right? So that added to her legacy, the amount of races that she ran. But then Elaine, she's run a bunch of 200s, but like, she's just been injured. So look at the past 3 years between 2020, actually 24, 25, 26. No, 23, 2023. I don't think Elaine ran any 200s. 2024, 2025, 2026. So in this time period of 4 years, I think Elaine has run one 200-meter race, which she did this year. Sharika, even last year when she was injured, she ran a bunch of 200s. Like, so it's interesting. It's interesting. And they both started their careers at the same time, right? Like Elaine in 2015 and Sharika in 2015 in terms of their pro career. So yeah, that's a good observation though. One gold medal literally makes you a winner, right? Maybe not saying like consistent, but still a winner. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's great. Go throughout history and see how many athletes have won a single gold medal. Quincy Watts has one gold medal. He's a winner. He's a champion, right? Like, come on, man. No, I'm gonna dive in. I'm gonna dive in and talk about Sharika and Melissa a little bit. I'm also gonna preview USA's next week, but yeah. Been watching track longer than some of you have been alive. Hey, listen, you're a veteran. Let's see. No, I mean, okay, so I would be the first one celebrating Gabby once she gives us a good time, but I'm almost tired of defending her against haters. Doubters only have one thing, and that's a 21.8, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, you don't even need to, well, obviously I'm here on live, so I'm going to defend, I'm going to like engage with y'all. And in general, I appreciate people providing comments. I'm ignoring disrespect, but like, I appreciate people bringing out comments, but like, I don't think you should get tired of defending Gabby. And you don't even have to consider it defending Gabby. You could just say highlighting an athlete, right? Like, you're literally highlighting a talented athlete and their success. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just pointing out facts, right? Like, just like I can point out that Sharika Jackson is the greatest 200-meter athlete of this generation, considering how many times she's run 21.4, 21.5, and like all this stuff. Like, I can point, and back-to-back gold medals, I can point that out. But then I can also point out Gabby Thomas has been insanely consistent right behind. She has an Olympic gold, right? She's run 21.8 a bunch of times. She's run 21.60, 21.61, 21.70, right? Like, and she has multiple medals. Like, I can point all that out as well. I think it's just highlighting all of that. The people who are in doubters and all that, who are gonna say like, oh, she doesn't run 21.8 outside US, whatever. Like, I don't need, like, that doesn't even matter, because when we look back 30 years, like, you're gonna look back 30 years from now, and we're really gonna look at medals. Gail Devers in the 100-meter hurdles doesn't have an Olympic medal, but she has a ton of world championship medals. And also, she doesn't have an all-time, even back then, I think Gail Devers' best mark in the 100-meter hurdles all time was like number 4 or number 5 all time. But that doesn't diminish her career. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was insane. Even the fact that she doesn't have an Olympic medal in the 100-meter hurdles, you can give her the credit for what she's done. Now, obviously, Gail has multiple gold medals at the world champs, but it's just like, I don't know, you can give a lot of credit to athletes. Like, we're going to look at things differently when, I don't know, 10, 15 years goes past, So, I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, rivalries and stuff. Let me talk about Sha'Carri and Melissa. Elaine ran 1/200 in 2023, like 23 seconds, and lost to Melissa Jefferson Woodin, of all people, at Tom. Oh, okay, interesting. I did not know that. That's interesting. Let's see. Let's see. Hold up. My bad. Okay. Okay, maybe I'm gonna just okay, let me just talk about Melissa and Sha'Carri. So Melissa Jefferson Woodin and Sha'Carri Richardson, they are not, I'm gonna just bring something up just for context. So they're gonna be running at the USA Championships this year, but they're not going to be racing each other. So we let me just see if I can bring this up. Hold up 1 second. I think I should have it. Let's see. My bad. Give me a second. Okay, I got it. So they were both entered. I'm gonna put this on the screen in a second. Give me 1 second. So they were both entered to run at USA's, but they declared, and Melissa Jefferson Woodin. Sorry, can I zoom in? Okay, so Melissa Jefferson Woodin is only running the 200, and Sha'Carri is only running the 100. That's going to be at USA's next week. So this was a little disappointing, because me and Coach Rob recorded like a preview for USA's for all the different events. I think we put out the men's 100 already. I was excited to see Melissa versus Sha'Carri in the 100. I think all of us were excited, considering what we saw at Prefontaine, considering both of them are in great form. They've already both run 10.7. Like, we were all excited to see it. I don't think I'm surprised, though, but it's understandable. I don't know. It's obviously disappointing, because we want head-to-heads, we want matchups, and this is like a high-quality matchup, right? We're talking about Melissa Jefferson Woodin, Sha'Carri Richardson, like two top Americans in the sport right now, and 2 of the top women in the sport right now, both world champions, both have run 10.6, but we don't get that race. Now, I do understand one thing to think about. Both of them are heading and trending towards World Ultimate Champs, right? So USA's is just a pit stop towards the World Ultimate Championships this year. Also, they have longer term plans of the World Champs in 2027, the Olympics in 2028. So USA's this year is not as important for each of them. And no, Gabby is not going to USA's. She's skipping USA's altogether. So USA's is not as important for Melissa and Sha'Carri. It's more a pit stop to just, prepare for the rest of the year. I think that one thing that could be, and let me be clear, I have no insight. I have no background info. I have no insight. But one thing that can be at play here is the idea that, okay, these are the top 2 women. We're not going to have you compete together unless it's necessary. Prefontaine Classic is a Nike meet, and like they both were like, Nike was probably like, yo, y'all both line up, whatever. But it could be, okay, Dennis Mitchell is like, nah, Melissa, you do the 200. Sha'Carri, you do the 100, right? Sha'Carri, you still need more reps in that 100. Melissa, you still need more reps in the 200. Maybe that's where you both are going to focus in, right? That could be a thing. Also, I mean, maybe there could be the dynamic of like both of them being, high quality athletes, and like saving the another big matchup for later on down the line, so it doesn't dilute the race. I mean, this was a conversation Yeah. Okay. I don't think, yes, I don't think personally, I don't think they're ducking each other. I don't think either of them is ducking. I think both of them wanted to race each other. Actually think both of them wanted to race each other. And I feel like I get that sense from like the energy that both of them have been giving off, where Melissa, obviously she is like gun ho, like, yo, I want to show up here. I want to do this. I want to do that. Like gun ho about racing anyone. Sha'Carri, I also, even though she's been, a little more quiet to a degree, but I think that she also wants to race. Like she has an energy of like, nah, I want to go out here and prove to the world, like, nah, y'all forgot about me last year. Nah, I want to show up and do it. So I actually don't think, I agree that I doubt that they're ducking each other. I actually think my honest hunch, and obviously I have no inside info, but my honest hunch is probably a coaching decision where Sha'Carri needs a few more 100-meter races, and like the 200 maybe isn't going to be her forte for the time being. She ran a bunch of 200s early. So she needs to get, the 100-meter races in as she leads towards Ultimate Champs. And especially considering, her start, that's her weaker part. So it's like, you got to get a few more 100-meter reps in to make sure you're working on those technical aspects. Melissa, she came off in an excellent year last year. So she started her season a little bit later. And she hasn't built up, and she hasn't run many 200s this year, right? She hasn't built up as much strength. So, well, in theory. So maybe it's like, we want you in the 200 at USA's to go through those rounds. It's only going to be 2 rounds of the 200 to get more experience, right? Jump back into it. She only ran one 200 race this year, right? The 200 at the Rome Diamond League. Make sure you can prepare there so you don't lose your edge, and you're working on your speed endurance, right? Your strength in the second half. So then when you go for the rest of the year, you're able to compete with, the Julians, the Gabbies, and et cetera, et cetera. I think it was more so a coaching. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. So I believe it's a coaching decision versus like anything. It also could be agents, right? So Melissa and Sha'Carri don't have the same agent, but it could be an agent's decision of like, let's not put you out in the same event so we can continue to build up the hype and potentially increase your price going into whenever the next race might race is, right? Who knows? That's pure speculation. But obviously I know that there is like the beef. I know that there's like some underlying things and some rumored things, like who knows? Until we see something public, we don't actually know. But we'll see. But this is very reminiscent of, this is semi-reminiscent of Shelly and Elaine in the sense that both of them didn't run the same races didn't run the same races frequently when they were training together. Eventually Shelly did leave the group. But I don't know. It's reminiscent of that to a degree. They never really raced until they got to the global champs. This is pre, when they were in MVP. And then even famously 2015, Elaine only runs the 200. Shelly only runs the 100, and it's like, we don't get to sim race, but so we'll see. No, this national champs for someone like Sha'Carri and Melissa, it in theory doesn't matter because you don't qualify for anything. World Ultimate Champs, they're both already qualified for it. Like they're going there. They don't have to run here. That's why Gabby Thomas is not running USA's, right? Like it doesn't, for the top athletes, it doesn't matter. For the lower level athletes who still need points, it does, it's more, USA's is more beneficial to them. So yeah, I think it's purely like a coaching situation. So yeah, as I broke down, I think it's just a coaching situation, but who knows? Granted, it could be pure speculation of like all kinds of beef. I don't know. But okay, so I said this on Coach Rob's comments. How long does the track side of the sport survive with the way how short sprints head-to-head matchups are inconsistent? Yeah, it's true. It's true. And it's something that has been going on forever, right? Like again, go back to the Elaine and Shelly, how they, didn't go head-to-head all the time. Yeah, it's mixed. Go back to Johan and Oblique, not Oblique. Johan and Usain, how they never did they ever race after 2009? I don't think Usain Bolt and Johan Blake ever raced outside of Jamaican national champs or Olympics or Worlds. I honestly don't think they ever raced. I could be wrong. Like maybe post 2013, 14, like after Johan Blake got healthy again, maybe they did, but like they never raced in their primes. 2011, 2012, Johan Blake and Usain Bolt never raced outside of Worlds and Olympics. So it's annoying. It was annoying. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But are you serious? The first time Elaine and Shelly met on the circuit was 2021. That is crazy. I thought they would have raced at least once on the circuit. That's ridiculous. See, that is wild. That is wild. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Sha'Carri Richardson has a very high chance of winning the 100, and Melissa has a very high chance of winning the 200. Yeah, I don't think anyone. Kayla White is looking good, but I'm not sure she'll be able to take down Melissa in the 200. And again, Gabby's not running, so there's that. And then in the 100, if Melissa's not running, then yeah, it's Sha'Carri. I mean, that's a tough thing. Someone's gonna have to really step up. But yeah, I think I agree here. So this definitely was Dennis. You're not going to convince me that Melissa Jefferson didn't want to defend her title when she's been talking about respect all year. Yeah, I think Melissa wanted to run the 100, but I think it was a coaching decision. Maybe, right? Who knows? Oh, I see. So that only makes sense if agents are collaborating. That's true, but that could be happening. Maybe. And I say it in the sense of like, I don't think athletes get paid to be at this USA's, right? It's not like a Diamond League or whatever. So coming off of Prefontaine, where that was like a really, really big race, there could be an aspect of like, okay, the agents are like, nah, next time we want the next race to be big and we want our athletes to get paid because it's going to be a big matchup. So I don't know, but it is, I just feel like right now there are other athletes in other events who show up meet after meet like workhorses, and they don't get the same attention or coverage or money to elevate their events to the next level. Yeah, 100% agree. Like women's 100-meter hurdles, men's 110 hurdles, right? Even the men's 400. These guys are showing up. Think of how many times Busang has just raced Rai Benjamin a bunch of times, right? And all these guys are racing. Like it's tough. Women's 400. Paulino is going out there and racing all the time, right? We're seeing Manuel. We've seen Henriette Yeager took some time off, but like she's been out there, right? Like Nikisha Price. Shout out to Nikisha Price. Yes, she didn't do well, but like she's been out here racing. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Frano had them taking turns in terms of Elaine and Shelly. 1 week Shelly would go to the Diamond League, and the next week Elaine would go to the Diamond League. That's annoying, man. Yeah. But yeah, it's tough. It's tricky. I wish we could see more Noah and Kashane. Yeah, Kashane is injured. Noah has been racing frequently. Noah's going to be at USA's, and he's declared for the 100 and the 200. So Noah is racing a lot. Kashane is just injured, but Noah's been racing a lot. Oh, yes, the Hungry Continental Tour meet before the Olympics. I remember that. Elaine ran 10.71 and Shelly ran 10.82. That's a good point. I forgot about that. Kayla White she's entered. Let me bring this up. Kayla White is entered for the double. Cambria Sturgis is only only doing the 200. USATF. Let's see. So I'm going to bring up the status of entries. So you have, let's see. I'm pretty sure Kayla White is doing both events or at least entered for both events. Because yes, Kayla is having a very, very good year. European champs is after Commonwealth Games. So in the women's 100 meters, let's see. I think Kayla White is entered for this one. Let's see. Maybe not. I could be wrong. Hold up. No, wait. Okay, yes, Kayla White is entered in the 100 and she's entered in the 200. So yes, Kayla White is doing the double. She's entered for the double. Let's say that. I don't know if athletes may pull out this, that, whatever. But yeah, TT Terry is injured. Go on TT Terry. Check out her YouTube. Actually, let me just cross check. Yes, Kayla White is entered. So Cambria Sturgis is only doing the 200, but Kayla White is doing the double. Melissa is only doing the 200. Brittany Brown is declared, which is good. So we'll see Brittany, hopefully, but we'll see. TT Terry, go on TT Terry's Instagram. I'm sorry, on her YouTube channel. She has been documenting. Let me just see. I'm going to bring this up just so I can show it. She has actually been documenting everything about her injury. And I actually really, really appreciate it because let me see. She has been very transparent about everything. Like it's actually kind of been crazy. Hold up. Just to show you. Obviously, I'm going to bring this up on the screen in a second. But she's been very transparent. So she's been breaking down everything about her injury. So she got injured. She got a back injury earlier this year, and she was like trying to come in and compete, but her injury just got worse a little bit and everything. But then she decided to just take the year off. But the reason I appreciate her is because she's been breaking down every detail about her injury, her recovery, the path back, the decisions that she's making. She even spoke about the idea that like she's in a she's in a contract year and she was looking to compete and do well this year so that she has the opportunity to kind of renegotiate in her favor. But like now this injury kind of set that back. Again, that's not stuff you get from athletes. Like that's not stuff you get from athletes very frequently. They're not going to go that in depth, not only about their injuries, but then also about their renegotiations with their contracts. She's been very vocal. So I shout out to TT Terry. Like I already had like a ton of respect for her, but man, I even gained more respect because like she's been cooking. So yeah, definitely check out TT Terry and her YouTube channel. She's been cooking with the breakdowns of her injury and explaining everything, like literally every single thing. I love this. But yeah. Okay, just got back from London Diamond League. It was crazy. I'm so jealous. Shout out to you, man, for being able to go there. Like amazing. Shout out to you, man. Okay. Okay, so I believe the hurdles are different because it's an obstacle race and the athlete's real challenge are the hurdles. Well, yeah, and I think the hurdles need rhythm. But again, the 400, the guys and the women are racing very frequently. Like they're racing. We're seeing all the top guys race each other. Busang is on the cert. He obviously didn't run here in London, but he ran in Paris, Eugene, Monaco, right? Like Rai Benjamin came off injury and he's like, yo, I got to show up at Eugene. Runs in Monaco, runs here in London, right? Matthew Smith, he's been running, right? Like everyone is Marley de Paulino, literally running everywhere. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. This allows them to build their own cases separately on why they should win against the other. And we as fans can go back and forth. And we don't know until that one day in Budapest. Yeah, I see that context from before. Yeah, and relating to like us getting more hype, I guess. Yeah, but I know that's why I say like, you know, it does increase their value to a degree, but it's tough, man. It does build anticipation. So yeah. Yeah, TT Terry is a glue in that training. TT Terry is an amazing person. Yeah, Kashane, he pulled out of a bunch of meets, and I think before World Relays, it was announced that he was injured. So yeah. The relays, there's only mixed relays at World. So mixed 4x1 at World Ultimate Champ. So mixed 4x1 and mixed 4x4. So yeah. No, I don't think it's losing. So TT might lose. No, I don't think it's losing your sponsorship. It's renegotiating. So you may not be able to like get paid as much, right? Like she wanted to run fast this year to show like, yo, I deserve even more. So, but that's what I think it is. I don't think she's going to lose her sponsorship. Yes, very proud of Dina. Shout out to Dina. How not her personal best, but her season's best. Shaved off her season's best. Yeah. Her season's best. Not surprised about TT. Yep. Yep. Both Oblique and Ajayi dropped 9.7 equivalents today. Yeah. Maybe about right. Oblique a little bit less so, but yeah. Rai Benjamin, I think he's scratched from USA, so he's not going to be at USA's apparently anymore. Let me just cross check. I think he's not going to be at USA's, but yeah, I'm going to do a USA's preview next week anyway, though. But yeah. Oh, true. I actually was replying to the commentary. Didn't actually see your comment. Thanks for clearing. Oh, maybe in response to somebody else. Yes, all the top names are going to be at World Ultimate Champs. Everyone is going to be at World Ultimate Champs. Yeah. When are we going to see Trayvon back? Maybe after Trayvon he just had a child. So he literally had a child. So that's why he's taking care of his family. He's a new father. So shout out to Trayvon. That's why he's out. And that's why he's not competing at USA's. Like he has a newborn child. So yeah. Okay. So hey, met Jacoby today. Yeah. Lovely guy. Yeah. Jacoby is dope. Okay. So I'm gonna close out though. Yeah. So they had a -7 win. I think only Ajayi would have run 9.7. Yeah, that's why I was like Oblique. I don't know because he ran 9.88 with that -0.7. I don't think would have gotten you 9.7. But okay. So last couple of years. So I feel like Noah will double at Ultimates, but we'll see how that affects him by the time the 200 comes. Especially since I can see Taboho and Brian, if he's healthy, only running the 200. Yeah, very true, very true. So we'll see, we'll see. Um, okay, we are gonna head out. Just been over 2 hours. Appreciate y'all for diving in. Either Monday or Wednesday, I'm gonna go live to preview USA's, but I'm gonna have a video about Ajayi and Jordan Anthony. If not tomorrow, then at least Monday morning for sure. So we'll see. But appreciate y'all. And you also for like Commonwealth games and European, like I'm gonna do previews for all that. Like we gonna be here. So appreciate y'all. But yeah, have a good rest of the weekend. Yeah, we'll be back. Appreciate it.